Hi, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you've been here before, my name is Cassie Villela. I am a realtor, property manager, and investor here in the San Antonio area. And on this channel, we just talk about real estate. We talk about buying and selling houses, just kind of everything that has to do with things around the house and the San Antonio area in general. So if you like that kind of thing, then click subscribe and like these videos. So today we're doing our market update for March 16th, 2021. So we'll start out with the COVID updates like we normally do. The COVID situation is definitely improving here in San Antonio, which is great news. Lots more vaccinations going out. So hopefully, this will continue and we'll be out and about again soon. And then here's that link for different types of help for people who are struggling due to COVID in the San Antonio area. So I'm really excited this week, maybe because I have not that much going on in my life, I guess, because I'm really excited about data. We started doing this meetup 1 year ago. So I started this Zoom meetup with the market update when COVID started, because I was worried that COVID would have an effect on the market, and I wanted my clients and I wanted my investors and friends to have the very latest data to make decisions. I had no idea that a year ago when I was starting that a year later we'd be having the hottest real estate market we've had, that we would have appreciated in double digits over the past year. I don't think anybody could have predicted that. So very odd to see that. But the exciting thing for me is that I have been tracking the showings per week every week for the past year. And if you'll remember, if you'll go back to the last video, the last market update, I used to have it was a bar graph, and the last bar would be like this week, 2019. Well, I don't have to have that anymore because now we have the whole last year worth of data, and now I converted it to a line graph, so we'll have that comparison. And anyway, that was a long way to say this just makes me really happy that we have all this data. And we can see here, though, that we're really about 2/3 of the showings we were this time last year. I think that that's due more to inventory issues than there being less buyers. There's still a lot of buyers. There are a lot of buyers taking advantage of the interest rates, and the market's really hot, as we can see from the appreciation, and we can see anecdotally from, every house I've listed this year being under contract within a week. It's obvious that it's not slowing down. I think that the decrease in showings is definitely from just a decrease in amount of houses to go look at, if that makes any sense. And then, to contrast that, rental showings are pretty much exactly the same, because those haven't been affected as much by COVID, because obviously it's not like people who are thinking about moving or having to list their house. It's, renters who are moving, that doesn't get affected quite as much as people making the decision to list their house does. So rental showings are staying really consistent with this time last year. The weekly home sales, so I didn't include this data in my first presentation, so we have to wait one more session to get the cool double line there. But you can see from, last time we were talking about that dramatic dip down to 80 sales that week, and that was from the freeze and the fact that nobody could get to title companies and nobody had internet and things because of the freeze. And we knew, we talked about then that the next couple of weeks would have a dramatic spike, and there it is. So I think that will continue to be pretty high because title companies are having to make up for lost ground over the next few weeks. The median price, is still continuing to rise. The fluctuations, because it's a median number, it's gonna fluctuate by a few $1,000s. So, you're not it's not anything to get alarmed about if it drops a few $1,000s or raises a few $1,000s. What we're really looking at is that trajectory over time. So like the general trend line, is it going up? How fast? So you can see that it's gradually increasing. And we're going to get to some numbers here that talk about the appreciation rate. So the home sales are very consistent with where they were last year. And so that's good news. And that's good news even with the freeze and with the, having a lot less closings that could happen. That number did not decrease. So that's a really good sign that the market's strong. The home prices, you can see that we have the double digits appreciation here in San Antonio. I included the average and the median here just because I had both of those numbers available. I tend to put more weight on the median because the average can be skewed by, mansions and, really $1 million houses. That can really skew those numbers. And so I'm really putting more weight on the median number here. So there's still, though, a double-digit increase over the past year. So again, it's just really hard to believe that a year ago we were going into COVID, freaking out. I don't think anybody, we kept kind of saying like, what do you guys think the market's going to do? Let's record. Let's see what does Nick say? What does Sam say? What are we going to do over the next year? But I don't think anybody said it was going to be double-digit appreciation. I don't think that was on anybody's magic 8 ball. So it's very interesting to see that. The multifamily sales, the numbers here, again, because there are so few multifamily units in the San Antonio market, there's going to be some weird numbers. So it's like 13% decrease, which sounds kind of bad, but then it's like, well, it's 28 versus 32. That's just a really small number either way. We just really don't have a lot of multifamily inventory. And then you can see that here with the fact that the median decreased by 11%, but the average increased by 26%. That's kind of because there are so few data points that's really skewing that trend. But I included it because it is on the monthly report that the Board of Realtors provides, and so I like to just have it here for information's sake. Now with residential rentals, the rent price is continuing to rise. So $1,581 was the average rental price in San Antonio in February. Now, when I say average rental price, I want to remind you that that does not include apartments. Apartments are on a separate database. The MLS only includes houses, townhomes, condos, things like that. Occasionally, you'll see something listed as an apartment, but it's not like the big, large apartment buildings. So that $1,581 is really more like the average rent house price. So that's gone up pretty dramatically since last year. The sales, so that would be the number of units rented out. That looks worrisome, but you have to remember that in February we had that freeze, and so there was a week where nobody was renting a house. So that decrease, I would chalk pretty much all of that up to losing a whole week of being able to find renters for the different properties. Anecdotally, the market is just really ramping up going into the spring season. Listings are getting a lot of showings, offers. A lot of buyers are jumping in. I'm getting a lot of calls to, list different houses. So the market is wild. It is definitely a seller's market. Unfortunately for buyers, if you're selling, this is the time to do it. you're going to get top dollar. There's a lot of people looking. A lot of people are at this point desperate to get something because it's so hard for buyers in all of these multi-offer situations. So, sellers are in a really good place. Buyers, you're going to have to find some trick up your sleeve to distinguish yourself from the rest of the pack to get something in this market. Again, those are just anecdotally from my experience. That's not data based, but that's what I'm seeing. That's where we are here in mid-March in 2001 in San Antonio. So if you have any questions about that, comment down below. You can always email me or call or text me. It's easier to text me than call me. But definitely reach out. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have anything, data points you might suggest adding. I always want to, improve these and bring you more information that's relevant. So I love suggestions. I love feedback. And I hope to see you next time.